Today's training is all about how to go from practitioner to business owner. Because most of us, we're responsible for getting clients, we're responsible for running the day-to-day, we have staff, etc., and we've got these businesses, right? But most of us in healthcare really just have like a job, like a hustle. Like it's not really a business because it's all dependent on us. We have to turn up every single day and see clients or we don't get paid. The problem with that is, like me, I was doing really well. I had hundreds of clients a week. We were busy. We're making heaps of money. It was good. It was good when I was there. It was not good when I got sick, and it was not good when I wanted to go on holiday or live my life, right? If I wanted to start going to a martial arts class or going to the gym, I had to decide between not seeing clients or being fit and strong or learning a new skill or something like that, because it was all on me. And the problem with it being all on you is that at some point you're going to burn out. At some point it's not going to make sense for you to want to continue. You're going to get tired, you're going to get stressed, you're going to get sick of it. Plus, you can't grow it and scale it. You can't take things to the next level because it's all on you and you have a maximum capacity that you can be at. So let's get into it. So there are 3 things that you need to be able to transition from practitioner to business owner. You can stay in practice if you want to. That's fine. More power to you. I chose not to because I want to do this coaching thing because I really enjoy it. But you can stay in practice, but it still shouldn't be dependent on you, right? Like it shouldn't be that you only make money when you see clients, and if you go on holiday, your business dies. So the very first thing is profit, okay? The second thing is processes, and the third thing is people, okay? There are 3 Ps: profit, processes, and people. The first P is profit, and it's all about how do we make money. The key difference between successful businesses and businesses that struggle is successful ones understand their numbers, okay? The numbers are as follows. Now write this down because I want you to do these calculations. You need to know what your lifetime value is per client over a particular period of time. The way that you calculate your lifetime value is you take your revenue for a period of time and you divide it by the number of new clients that you saw, because that'll tell you how much. If I made 100 grand and I saw 10 new clients in that period, then every client that I'm bringing in, new client into the business, is responsible for approximately $10,000 in revenue. Your lifetime value is the revenue you generated divided by the number of clients, new clients that you've seen. Same thing as calculating your patient visit average. Basically the same number. It's the total number of visits you had in a period of time divided by the number of new clients you've seen. To work the other way around is you say, if my patient visit average is 50 and I have, well, let's do easier math for me, 10, and per session it's $10, then 10 tens are $100. Make sense? Either way, you'll get to your LTV. Lifetime value is the revenue per client. Patient visit average is the number of sessions you have per client. And then your transaction amount is the average amount per transaction. So the way to calculate that is you say, how many visits did I have, or how many transactions were made, and how much divided into the amount of revenue, right? So if we have $100,000 generated and we have 1,000 transactions, then that means there was $100 per transaction. Because if you understand all these numbers, you understand how they influence each other, right? So let's say we're thinking about growing a business. I forgot who said this, so it's not me who made this up, but there are only 3 ways that you can grow a business: number of new clients, number of transactions per client, and dollar amount per transaction, right? Or the average order value for all of you e-commerce nerds, right? So what this means is, if you are a massage practice and you have clients coming in and seeing you, the way to increase the number of transactions is to get people to come back. The way to increase the number of new clients is to improve your marketing. And the way to increase your transaction amount is to raise your prices, or is to sell packages, or, well, packages is you're increasing your average transaction amount and you're getting cash up front, but you haven't actually increased your revenue just by doing packages. Does that make sense? You just get more commitment out of your clients. So let's remove that one actually. So you've got raise your prices, and then you've got sell more stuff. Okay. So if every client sees you, it's $100 and you then sell them a $20 supplement, every single person, your average transaction amount has now gone up by $20, right? So your revenue will go up proportionally. Make sense? So we're looking at how do we bring in more clients? How do we make sure that those people keep coming back? And then how do we sell them more stuff? That's the best way of doing it, okay? Because then they pay, maybe $50 to see you if you're a chiropractor, and then you sell them some supplements, you sell them your online program, and you do that on the regular, your average transaction amount goes up, and then you raise your prices and everything goes up. So when we're looking at those numbers, to generate profitability in your business, the first thing you need to do, literally after this live training, is go and raise your fees. If you see 100 people a week and you raise your fees by $1 per session, that's $5,000 extra revenue per year, right? Because it's $100 extra a week times by 50 weeks. If you take 2 weeks holiday, you're making $5,000 extra a year. $5,000 is a trip to Fiji. Well, at least for me it is. I don't know how far away you guys are. Trip to Hawaii maybe, all right? Because you raised your fees by $1. Let that sink in. There are subtle changes that you can make to drastically improve the profitability of your business. Raising your fees needs to happen immediately. Like all of you are not charging enough money for your services. All of your clients will pay an extra $1, $2, $3, even $5 per session with you, especially if you've been listening to any of the other stuff that I've been teaching you. You're going to have an easier time selling them because you've learned a bunch of stuff. B, you're going to be adding more value because you've learned a bunch of stuff. And if you're a client, this is an absolute no-brainer because I teach you a whole lot of extra stuff, all right? Increasing fees, you need to go do that now. Second thing is you need to write down all these numbers and calculate them because then you can focus on generating more clients. You need to know how to generate clients consistently. There are many strategies out there. Some of them work, some of them don't, but you need to hustle your ass off to make sure that you have systems in place that get you clients consistently. The next thing I want to talk about is processes. All right. So the first thing is I got to get more profitable. I got to make more money. Once you got making more money, you can start to document how you made that money. You can start to make processes, right? Standard operating procedures around how you reach out to people in your Facebook groups, how you run your ads, how you do live trainings like this or a webinar or an event in your practice, how you do your new patient visits, your report of findings visits, your review visits, your check-in visits, your daily sessions, how you run your team meetings. You can start to make processes and document everything because once you've made money, you need to document how you did it so that there's a process so that you can then teach people, the third P, how to do it for you. So what this looks like for me is I made my business more profitable. We increased our fees. We increased our client retention. We improved our conversion. We got people to pay up front for packages and to stick around longer. So our lifetime value went through the roof, which meant that our profitability went through the roof. And then we piled on a whole lot of new clients from doing a whole lot of different stuff. Then we started to document what was working, what was not, and really start to refine that. And we systemized it. So now we have standard systems around how we do our new patient visits, how we do our assessments. Our testing is standardized and graded. So I can track a person and say, this is where you were, this is where you are now, these are the results you're getting. And I'm able to train my people into doing the exact same thing. Long story short, you can't throw people at problems. You need to make processes and then have people to fulfill those processes, right? I make processes around everything, how we answer the phone, the best way of bringing new clients and booking people in, all that kind of thing, so that I can hire anyone to come in and take over that process. This is the bridge that takes you from practitioner to business owner, because practitioner is the one who's profitable, like I was. Then the processes is the bridge that gets you to the land of opportunity, people, where you're able to now give people to your processes, not throw people at problems. The third P in this process is to scale your business vertically or horizontally or both using people. So the first person that you want to bring in is an assistant who can support you and allow you to have a greater capacity. Because part of the problem of, I'm going to say a whole lot of P's here, part of the problem of people when they're looking at being more profitable in their business is they don't understand their capacity limitations. They don't get that they are the obstacle in their own way for generating more revenue. So I had a client, I won't name him. He knows who he is. He's probably listening, who was struggling in his practice. We threw more clients at him by teaching him how to bring in more people. In doing so, his business grew. He made a whole lot more money. We quadrupled his revenue from like $2,000 a month to $8,000 a month. And he hit kind of a barrier we couldn't get above it because he's fully booked. So what we did was I said, we need to shorten your appointment lengths by 15 minutes, which will increase your capacity by 25%, meaning that you're going to make a whole lot more money and see a whole lot more people. And he said, I can't do that. And I said, of course you can do that. He said, no, I can't, because people see me because of my time. I was like, they don't see you because of your time. They see you because of the results you get and the value you get. And he wasn't sure. I said, well, why don't you do this? You've got some machines in your office, like massage chairs and things like that. I said, why don't you put people on the massage chair for 15 minutes before your session, then work with them. And then as you're taking them off the chair, you're putting someone else on the chair, and then you're essentially working with two people simultaneously. The first half of their appointment, they're on the chair or on the laser machine or the ultrasound or whatever. Then they move to contact time with you, and then someone else is on that machine, and then you're swapping them in and out. And so in doing so, first I proved that would work with him, which increased his capacity. Then we shortened his appointment lengths on top of that because he realized that, hey, people are here for the value and the outcomes. They finally drilled it into his head. And so we're able to double his capacity, which means that his revenue can double, but he's still the obstacle, right? Like, more money is good. He's more profitable. He's got more resources now, but you're still the issue. So when you understand your capacity limit, your ceiling, you're able to make processes and then hire people. And so once he got to that point, it meant there was plenty of overflow, because that's what being profitable means. It means you've got plenty of clients and plenty of money. And so you can invest in people. So we hired him an assistant, which allowed him to flow easier, which shortened his appointments again, because he had to spend less time taking payments, making bookings, putting people on tables, things like that. Then that person could ring his leads and ring his clients and get them to come back in again. So his retention went up, his conversions went up, and he had more time available to focus on the business. And once the assistant was in place, we then began hiring him practitioners. Now he's doing $15,000 a month, approaching 20, and he's a massage therapist, right? And he's doing that because we went profit, processes, people. So once you get to that place, now, like I said, it's about going vertical or horizontal. Vertical is, let's say you're a functional medicine practitioner, is hiring more functional medicine practitioners. Or if you're an acupuncturist, hiring more acupuncturists and just increasing your general client volume and just funneling some of them across. Or I go horizontal. And so what we did was we focused on hiring supportive practitioners to our business model, to the outcomes we're trying to generate for our clients. So we've got body workers wanting to come on board, acupuncturists coming on board, nutritionists, naturopaths, etc. Right now we have 3 naturopaths who are virtual. So they're not even taking up space in the clinic. I've taken the same marketing strategy. I've just pivoted it towards a different profession. The same process is already there. My staff already know what to do. So I just simply bolt on this extra practitioner, retweak the processes a little bit to match the cadence for them and how it all works, and then just turn the cannon on and fire clients at these practitioners, and I fill them up. Now, because I've got virtual practitioners, I can just keep slamming them on there because we've got the processes. It works. We know it works. And so we just turn the dial, get more clients, put more people in, and keep filling them up. In terms of going more horizontal and hiring more people, you have to look at your natural capacity of your location, of course, right? But you have to consider, what else could I do, right? What could I do to bring people in that allows me to generate revenue? We were too, what's the word? Precious. We were too precious about our business early on. We didn't want to let in other practitioners to do different things because we wanted to stick to, we wanted to get our message out there and what we were doing out there because we thought it was so valuable. And it is. But I realized that my overall goal, my overall outcome is not just to get my voice out about what we're doing. It's also to just generally get people aware of us, because the more people who are generally in our world, the more will hear our voice anyway. Plus, I just wanted to make more money so I could live a better lifestyle and give to my family and charities and things like that. And I realized my outcome is not just to be this martyr for my profession or for my specific protocols that we use, but merely to facilitate more people getting help and live a good lifestyle, right? Business is an entity that allows you to generate resources for yourself, which you can use for other parts of your life. Business is there to make you money. Money is there not to make you happy, but to give you the ability to experience growth, and growth is what makes you happy. And so the learnings that have come from my businesses, the money that's generated that allows me to learn new skills and go on trips and give back and do all these things, giving me that growth. And I'm using my business as that entity. And this is something that I want for you guys, is to be able to have that business. And it starts with, how do I get more profitable? How do I develop processes and systems? And then how do I hire people to allow me to expand? Because we can't be the center of everything. Most of us are stuck as practitioners in the center, working way too hard because everything comes back to us. I started to create silos of people. So I would have the administration team. I'd have clinical teams. I'd have marketing or admin teams. And then I'd have me and my wife as kind of the executives, if you will. And so each team had leaders, and those leaders would communicate with us and then communicate back to their teams, which meant that we had less problems to deal with. They had processes, they can manage things themselves, so they didn't need me to be a part of it. Whereas most of us, we are in the center, and everyone, like a wheel and spoke, we're in the center of that wheel, that axle, and all the spokes come into us, and all the pressure comes into us from the outside of that wheel, right? And we're just getting hammered all the time. We wake up, there's more problems to deal with. And so everything feels urgent. Everything's a problem that needs to be solved now. That, if you're feeling that, that is an issue with your processes, right? If you're trying to grow and you can't, it's an issue with your processes, not necessarily your people, not necessarily your marketing. It's an issue with your processes. If you're going well and you're profitable and you're having an issue with scaling, because the difference between growing and scaling, growing is getting to a place of more profitable. Scaling is going, I've got this model that works. How do I make it even bigger beyond me? But how do I make more of them? That comes from your people, all right? And if you're struggling to just get off the ground and make more money, then profitability is your issue, and we need to focus more on your numbers and how you're generating clients and all that kind of fun stuff.